Did you really just laugh when I was about ready to press record?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Hi. This is the officially unofficial geek channel. And this is, let me make sure this is recording. It is recording, so we totally got that. All right, guys. This is the officially unofficial geek channel. What's happening Wednesdays? I am your ever eternal host. I can't speak. Maybe we shouldn't do this. No, we can do it. Okay. I am your ever eternal I am your ever eternal host, Carrie Quinn. And this week we have with us again Joe. Joe is here. Because today is Wednesday. Today is What's Happening Wednesday. And what's happening today, Joe?
AKA known as Mandalorian Wednesday.
Mandalorian Wednesday.
Oh, wait. I mean, Book of Boba Fett Wednesday.
Whoops.
Was that an intentional slip? I don't know.
Was it? Okay, guys, so here's the deal. Joe is really excited about what he watched today. I'm pretty excited about what I watched today. And that would be the Book of Boba Fett. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Book of Boba Fett. If we're not getting too long in the tooth, we're going to talk about some other stuff too, just to keep a little bit of variety in there. Probably related to pop culture and comics, probably heavy comics. But I want to stress, because of how excited he is, we are going, you know what, here it is. It's an official spoiler warning. Spoiler warning in regards to the Book of Boba Fett. Episode 5? 5. Yes, that came out today. So if you have not watched Book of Boba Fett Episode 5, and any of the episodes before that, you do not want to be spoiled, please go watch Book of Boba Fett and on Disney Plus, and then come back and listen to us. Or if you don't care a gosh darn about any freaking spoilers, go ahead and stay.
Yeah, stay.
Yeah, because we are gonna talk about Book of Boba Fett and then probably some other spoilery type of comic stuff. So,
Episode 5, The Return of the Mandalorian.
That is actually what it's called. And you know what? It does not disappoint. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, there have been times with the Favreau Filoni TV series that they've named things exactly what you're about to see. And that probably makes sense as to why you don't know the names of the episodes. I know a lot of TV shows out there will release the name of the episode prior to anything that happens, but
you don't know anything about these episodes.
We don't know anything except for what they hint at prior to this. Like last week, right at the end of the episode, we heard the Mandalorian's
I mean,
theme.
I knew we were getting a Mandalorian, but I didn't know we were going to get so much Mandalorian.
You thought it was going to be like a scene or two, or maybe, you know, if there was going to be a lot of the Mandalorian, that it was probably going to involve all Mandalorians.
I thought at least Boba Fett would be in the Boba Fett show.
Yeah, Boba Fett was indeed not in the Boba Fett show, unless you count the recap that happened before the show. Boba Fett was not in this episode of The Mandalorian. What we did, however, get, as promised by the music in the last episode, we got Mr. Din Djarin.
Doing lots of cool things, man.
Doing lots of stuff.
Yeah, he's got the Darksaber. Ooh, man,
and
he doesn't know how to use it.
No, he does not know how to use it very well. Which is really funny because they did, you know, I did appreciate that in the writing, and another YouTuber was mentioning this. That was Star Wars Explained. That was mentioning how during Star Wars Rebels, when Sabine Wren, had the Darksaber, she used to complain that it would get heavy. and that was when she was training with it, and it was gosh, why am I the name? Kanan Jarrus was like, well, the reason it's heavy is because the crystal has not attuned to you. And so that was the Jedi's reason for why.
He didn't say anything about the crystal. It's just she's not focused on the thing.
Well, okay, so like that was the Jedi's reason for why the Darksaber was feeling heavy in her hand. Now, we had a little bit of a training session. We're gonna jump ahead and then we'll jump back. We had a little bit of a training session with Din Djarin and the Darksaber with the
armorer.
What was that?
The armorer.
The armorer. It sounded like you said something different. Never mind. Okay, the armorer. Because yes, we got to see the armorer again, where we have just 2 members of the previous.
Well, 3 for a little bit, and then 2 again.
3 for a little bit, and then 2 again. Yeah, that was unfortunate. But depending on one's perspective of things, that was unfortunate. Yeah, you're shaking your head. No, I'm gonna have to agree with you. It was not unfortunate. We'll get to that in a moment. So she was training him. She was trying to train him to fight with it. After giving him a little bit of a Mandalorian history lesson.
One of the coolest history lessons there was, man. Got to see Mandalore in freaking real life. Not real life, but...
Well, it's...
live action, that's what I mean.
Live action CGI'd Mandalore. It was not cartoon in any way, which we've seen... The only time we've seen a Mandalore in any way was in a cartoon.
Yeah.
Basically. In that, of course, I'm speaking of the Rebels, and I believe it was also in Clone Wars as well, because you had the connection between the Countess Sabine and... Is it Sabine or Satine?
Satine.
Satine, yes. The Countess and Obi-Wan Kenobi and everything happening with that. But this is the first time we've actually seen it in a live action sequence. And it was not pretty, actually.
No, man, they went through the Terminator Wars.
Yeah, they went through the yeah. Basically, what you're seeing there is if you're not aware, if you've never seen Rogue One, you're seeing basically the K2SO, a bunch of them, the K2 series droids, that you would be if you saw Rogue One
and Pro droids.
Yeah, you'd be familiar because of K2SO, but. Yeah, it definitely looked like the Terminator Wars there. And it was not pretty. So basically you get a little bit of a lesson about Mandalore after, and this is basically after Bo-Katan had been given the saber. So that was basically the point of telling the story, was to let him know a little bit more about Bo-Katan and the saber, and that was told to him by the armorer. Now, so let's rewind back to earlier in the episode. Din Djarin is
focused on his work because he misses his baby boy.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably the best way to put it. That Din Djarin is focused on his work because he misses his baby boy. He at the beginning of the episode, he still has the Beskar spear that was given to him by Ahsoka when she was able to snag it in the 2nd season of Mandalorian. So he ends up on this like Halo like planet that's kind of cool looking. Like, have you ever seen anything like that in Star Wars before, Joe?
Not in Star Wars, but I saw it in Halo.
Okay, so in Halo, where it's kind of like it's like a planet like station, but it's like on this huge ring, like a halo. Like, it's not a clever name. And you have sections of it that appear in daylight and sections that appear to be darkened for night.
It's really cool.
It was really cool.
I hope we see more of this place.
Like it was literally you had Din Djarin coming back with a bounty. He did his classic line from that first episode ever, where he's like, I can take you in warm or I can take you in cold. And well, they decided that they would rather go in cold. And not only did he take them in cold, he used the Darksaber to basically cut the dude's head off.
Not basically, totally.
Literally cut the dude's head off. Literally take him, well, a part of him in cold. But we discovered pretty early on that Din Djarin, in fact, even though he is using the Darksaber, is not quite good with it yet, because he actually ends up injuring himself at one point.
Badly.
Yeah, to the point where like he gets the information of where he can find more of his kind from the what was
from his clients.
From his clients.
Yeah.
So if you recall, last season in The Mandalorian is when he came in contact with Bo-Katan Kryze, and she kind of filled him into the idea that he was from a sect of Mandalorian people that is kind of a cult, because he never took off his helmet.
He's part of the Children of the Watch.
Children of the Watch. And he was not aware of this, because basically he was a foundling that was raised by the Watch, the Children of the Watch. And so, if you recall, he took off his helmet in order, one, to save Grogu, and then secondly, to say goodbye to Grogu. And that really emotional scene right at the end of the last season, when Grogu is taken with is taken by Luke Skywalker to get more training. I always looked at it as very emotional, because it was like the moment in Return of the Jedi when Darth Vader is "let me look at you with my own eyes" kind of thing. And yeah, don't want to talk too much about it. Might get verklempt right now. But so we've got the Mandalorian, Din Djarin, finds his people. There's only 2 of them left besides him. And one of them is the armorer, and he takes the basically, while he's getting his Mandalorian history lesson, takes the Beskar spear and makes a present for his foundling. He's like, I want to make a present. I want to make something for the foundling, for my foundling, Grogu. And so yeah, the armorer does that. It is established pretty early on that he's not hiding the fact that he has the Darksaber. You get the idea that others have tried to. I don't know. Do you get the idea that others have?
I get the idea that he has hardly ever even used it. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not getting the idea that somebody has already challenged him for it?
No.
No?
Not at all.
Okay. So, like, one of the people that is from his
Paz Vizsla.
What was that?
Paz Vizsla.
Yes. Is descended from the original maker of the Darksaber, and he wants it. You could tell this is pretty much going to go down once he sees it for the first time. You know, that he is going to challenge Din for it. And so he challenges it, and long story short, he loses. Din Djarin gets to keep the Darksaber. What's that?
It wasn't even that long of a fight.
It wasn't even that long of a fight. But it basically is ended because the armorer is like, okay, so we've had enough, you know. You've lost, you know. Now let me hear your real, you know, your real stuff here. For some reason, she gets the idea that she needs to ask this question, and I'm not exactly sure why.
I don't know why either.
I don't know why she thinks she needs to ask this question.
I think it's just because the duel's over and now it's tradition.
But if the duel is over and it's tradition, that just, it still just seems kind of weird, because to just, okay, so the question that gets asked.
Traditions are weird. That's the point.
Some more than others, and this is definitely one of those ones that I feel is a little bit more than others, because just out of nowhere she just decides for an order, a religious cult type order, when one of your major rules is to not remove your helmet in front of anyone else under any circumstances. It's one of those things where it's like, it's just known that someone should be like that. For her to just all of a sudden ask that, it still seems kind of weird.
Yeah, traditions are weird.
Okay, but like...
especially weird cult traditions. They're weird.
So...
he's in a freaking cult. Call his dad.
You're in a cult. Call your dad. So, all right. Okay. So, the armorer just goes ahead and asks first of the person that loses. Have you ever taken off your helmet, basically? And he's like, never. And she asks Din Djarin if he's ever taken off his helmet. And man, dude sits there and he's like, just totally struggles with it. Does not say anything. And he finally admits that he has taken off his helmet in front of others. And they're like, basically, oh, really? Okay, well, there's the door.
You're no longer a Mandalorian, she says.
You're no longer a Mandalorian.
But she does tell him how he can redeem himself.
She does tell him, even though he sits there and he you know, he begs forgiveness. She tells him, you know, there's a way to redeem yourself, and you have to.
Something under Mandalore, some lake under Mandalore.
You have to cleanse yourself under Mandalore. Mandalore is in shambles.
Or go to Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah, because you know.
Good enough for Prince.
If it's good enough for Prince, it's good enough for the Mandalorian. For the Mandalore, which is basically who he is.
Yeah, I would have been like, listen here. No, you go cleanse yourself. I'm Mandalore.
Right? No, but you know what? That's it. That's it. That just shows that's a possibility that just kind of shows where his head is with this whole thing. Like, he understands that there's tradition and everything like that, and somebody's got to fight him to get it. Because as we found out, the if you don't get the Darksaber from a fight, if you don't win it, it's cursed. Yeah, it's believed to be. It's believed to be cursed. We can't sit here and actually, you know, maybe talk about anything else except for the fact that, well, I mean, you gotta when Din Djarin, when the Mandalorian wins the Darksaber because he defeats Moff Gideon, and the whole reason he defeats Moff Gideon is because he's trying to free Grogu. He comes in and he's like, here, take it, you know, to Bo-Katan, and she won't even like touch it. She has to win it in combat, and everyone was like, well, what do you mean she has to win in combat? She was just given it before. Well, here's your answer. Because everybody is a superstitious bunch. Okay? We can't look at the fact that maybe at the time when Mandalore fell, that the Empire was basically a big honkin' machine of destruction.
Yeah, that's all they did.
Okay? So it was a big honkin' machine of destruction. And you have, comparatively, Mandalorians spread all over the galaxy, right? But not nearly enough numbers to take on, by themselves, essentially, the Empire. All that firepower. All of that. So we can't look at that idea as to why possibly Bo-Katan Kryze couldn't hold power, because she just simply was not able to. No, it's cursed. What do you think of that concept? Do you think it's cursed?
No, I don't think it's cursed. I think that, you know what? No, it's Star Wars. It could be cursed. It could be.
Anything is possible. You know what the thing is it's one of those things where it's like the curse holds as much power as you allow it.
Yep.
And if you
they
allow,
all believe in it, so it's cursed.
Yeah. So that's why she couldn't take it, and we get that answer to that question, which is pretty cool. To finally be able to like, see, this is why y'all were complaining before. I mean, myself and yourself, were wondering that as well.
Oh yeah, everybody.
Yeah, everyone was like, well, what's the big freaking deal now?
Be patient, man. We'll get our answers.
If we're just fucking patient, we'll be fine. Be fine. Which, you know what? I just thought of something. Okay, you want to know what I thought of? If we just be patient, we'll get our fucking answers.
What?
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Oh, we got the answers.
Did we get enough of it?
Yeah, it's in the book. We know how Palpatine returned.
It's in the book. Read the book.
That's a whole other discussion for another time. But yes, we know how he returned.
We know how he returned.
Right.
Okay, but still. It's... So either way, we have Din Djarin, who does not care or does not understand the power he has. And you're going to sit on top of that box and because you think that we won't say anything because we're recording. Our cats are wreaking havoc. You see, this is what happens. This is what happens. Yeah, I know. It does not matter, River. Mr. Boopy Face. Okay, just pause for station identification because our cat has decided we're gonna just jump on top of boxes and... Yeah. Anyways. He's just darn cute. So... Din either doesn't care or doesn't understand that he's Mandalore. Just because...
He doesn't understand. He's brought up in a cult.
He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand that his stature right now, because he is in possession of that saber, because he won it in a fight, he won it in battle, puts him at a higher, like, I don't know, what we call it, rank, than anyone.
Yeah, he's the dude.
He is the dude. And yet he's still sniveling and
But they got to get their shit together enough to realize that they have a dude.
But do they have the dude? Because he don't even want it.
You keep saying that. I've never heard him once say he doesn't want it. He just tried to give it to her. Now that he's got it, he seemed to fight for it pretty freaking hard.
Well, because he's respecting the tradition now that he's been told.
When has he ever said he didn't want it?
Right when he got it.
Yeah, and then now, when has he said it now? He fought for it. I mean, he didn't stop fighting.
Well, because okay, so like, what is the better battle won in this circumstance? The one where someone just kind of fights and doesn't give a shit, or?
Well, yeah, if he didn't want it, that's how he would do it.
But that's not really doing service to the fucking, traditions.
If he didn't care, though.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that he doesn't care. What I should say is he doesn't want to be Mandalore.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so he cares, but he doesn't want the job.
I don't even think he knows what the job is.
Yeah, who's sitting here trying to tell him? You get a little bit of the history here involving this. One has to wonder exactly how much Boba Fett knows. If maybe somebody will just clue.
Well, he knew about the planet. He knew that it was bombed to glass.
Yeah.
Din Djarin didn't even know that.
So there's a possibility that in one of these last two episodes that Boba Fett might actually be the one to clue him in to exactly how important this shit is and who he is at this point, because nobody has really explained this to him, I think, in a way that he totally gets. Not because Din Djarin is an idiot. He's not an idiot. But nobody is really going there and saying, you are the man.
Yeah, nobody lets him know.
So we have him basically leaving with his head hung low and everything like that. So he goes and he
looks passage to Tatooine.
Yeah, basically takes the bus to Tatooine.
Public transportation.
He can't even keep any of his weapons. It's like part of his. He's like, this is part of my religion, and they're like, sorry, can't do it. If you'd like to speak to my manager, you'll have to wait till morning. And he's just like, fine. And so like, thus starts him pulling all of his weapons, out of every crevice that he has.
Kind of like the scene in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
Oh yeah, like leave your weapons, and it's basically just a shit ton of weapons coming from everywhere. All of his little darts, all that stuff has to go into this case, and he's like, I know everything that's in there. But he gets to Tatooine, and we find out the reason he is in Tatooine is because he has been contacted by our friendly neighborhood mechanic.
Pelimoto.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Pelimoto, I believe her name is.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah. Because she was told that if she finds a replacement for the Razor Crest, to let him know and he would come. So basically she has, now you're going to have to help me out with exactly what she has, because you have more of the knowledge.
She has
here.
an N1 starfighter.
She has a
Naboo
N1 starfighter made.
Those yellow starfighters from episode 1.
Yeah, from episode 1, made by royalty for the use of protection of royalty.
Yep.
Right? Which I believe has symbolism here.
I just think it's a cool souped up.
I think that there's the possibility of some symbolism here. When he gets there, it is basically you have like the main body, but you have it in pieces.
Yeah,
and
like him putting himself back together.
Yeah, well, like him putting himself back together. When he gets there, it is like a pile of junk. It's not put together, and she's like, "Well, hey, you know what? You're just gonna have to help me with this." And he wants to reject it at first. He wants a Razor Crest so that he can continue doing his thing and, not have to worry about anything else. Just keep on doing his job. Keep on being who he was. Put aside the Raider. It's time to become who you were born to become. Yeah. Yeah, a little Lord of the Rings movie there. So he decides he's going to go ahead and help build back up this Naboo ship. And and it's this really cool little montage of them putting it together and then him going up and testing it and immediately getting in trouble with the law. So we see an appearance by what was his name?
I forget what his name is.
So if you've been watching The Mandalorian,
But the first guy that's talking to him, the young guy, is the same guy that played Luke Skywalker.
Oh yeah.
And then I forget the name of the other guy.
So
the one that's not Trapper Wolf.
So he's just like, your voice sounds familiar. Do you ever have a Razor Crest? We need to talk to
Carson
that.
Teva is his name.
Carson Teva?
Yes.
We need to talk to a guy about, that had a Razor Crest in regards to, tying up some loose ends involving, and it was basically when they went and they blew up the mine in the beginning of season 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just like, it's like he flips the nitrous and just goes vroom off.
Fast and the Furious.
A little Fast and the Furious there. Flips the nitrous and just jets off. And they're like, do you want to go fill out the paperwork? Nah, let's just let it go. Let it go. And so for wanting something had a little bit more it's like a car equivalent would be like, it's a little like hip little roadster, maybe like an Aston Martin.
Something like that.
Yeah. Comparatively, and we're going to compare that to the Razor Crest and say the Razor Crest is kind of like
a souped up Winnebago.
Lone Star. A souped up Winnebago. I was actually going to go as far as like the big white utility van.
Oh, that, yeah.
So like you had the big white working man's utility van. That was it's dependable, but it is, there's an obvious reason to have it. You're not buying a utility van to go cruise chicks, okay? You're not buying a utility van to put yourself on display. But when someone has a bit of a midlife crisis and goes out and buys a hot, roadster or an Aston Martin or, I don't know, a souped up Camaro or Corvette, they want to be fast and they want to look fancy. And so now Din Djarin has the equivalent of the souped up muscle car. And I think there's a symbolism there, whereas he's rejecting the life. Like there's something about him rejecting the life of the bounty hunter and possibly would embrace the life of the Mandalore. Mostly because of the whole, like, it was made for Naboo royalty, and technically
it's made for their armed forces.
Well, but still, made by royalty.
It's not made by royalty. Royalty didn't make it. It's just made by hand.
Okay, made for royalty in some way, shape, or form. Symbolism, made for royalty, used in the purpose of royalty.
Okay.
Okay. And now it's his main source of transportation. I don't know. To me, I think there's a symbolism there. What do you think?
No, I don't know.
No. We'll see.
I think we need to see more.
I think we're never going to... I don't think we're going to see in the course of 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett.
Talking about the next season of Mandalorian.
Yeah. We're talking about if he's going to accept the role of the Mandalore at all, it's going to happen in the next season of The Mandalorian.
Or maybe not even then.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't accept it. Maybe he is fought for it, and that'd be a...
I have theories, but that's for another show.
That's for another show?
Yeah.
We're going to put a pin in that, okay? And we'll come back to that when Mandalorian Season 3 premieres. Or maybe you can tell me off recording. But, yeah, so... that is Mandalorian 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to the part where he lands his ship. Fennec Shan is there.
Oh, shit.
You're like missing whole chunks.
Well, because it's all about the Mandalorian in this episode. We didn't even... Oh, shit. You're right. Fuck. Who's there? Who's there when he gets done with his little joyride? But Fennec Shan...
trying to hire him, but he's like, I don't need to take these credits.
Yeah.
He's like, he'll do it for free because Boba Fett helped him out.
You know what? It's really been this symbiotic relationship between the two of them, though, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, of course, if Mandalorian Season 2, Boba Fett comes looking for his armor and helps Din try to protect Grogu. Him and Fennec Shan help Din try to protect Grogu, and then help him, get Grogu back. And in response, obviously, Boba Fett gets his armor back, but then helps him, I promised I would help you kind of thing. So he does. And now Boba Fett needs his help again. So it continues this whole symbiotic relationship. He's not even taking the credits. He'll do this for free. But first he has to go visit a little friend. Which, that's...
We all know who that is.
We all know who that is. 3 guesses in the first 2 don't count. But, I doubt we're gonna see Grogu in Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, they could use it as a flashback in the...
They can use it as the flashback in Mandalorian. Like, this is what's been the story right now, where we return to our tale is, I'm gonna go do something, I'll be back, kind of thing. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna see Grogu in Book of Boba Fett. I know some people might be a little bit excited about that prospect, but I am not holding my breath because we have 2 episodes left of the Book of Boba Fett, which is the actual show.
Yeah, and it better just be about Boba Fett next time.
Right? Like, 2 episodes.
That's it. That's all that's
That's
left.
all there is. Do we know any running times on these?
No, they never give you running times.
They never give you running times ahead of time. We don't know running times on these. Oh dear.
You find out as soon as you click and it comes on there. You're like, oh, it's 51 minutes. Oh, they get
51
really excited.
minutes.
And then you text your friend. You're like, oh my God, he's still up. And then you're like, we better watch it.
Yeah, Joe has this whole thing set up with some of his friends that they get up at 2 in the morning to watch it as soon as it drops on Disney Plus, and then they talk about it via Messenger. So that puts me in a position where I do not get up at 2 in the morning to watch Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Bad Batch, any of those things. I do not get up at 2 in the morning to watch those. So I get to watch it later on with him, and that's his second time watching it. Now, granted, he is probably going to watch it several more times because he loves The Mandalorian. Wouldn't you say? Probably a good, 10 more times.
I'm going to watch this one probably before I go to bed at least another time.
Yeah.
Make it 3 for today.
Make it 3 for today. Whew. Yeah. So what? So we got a few minutes. We can talk about something else.
I'm getting tired, but all right.
Yeah.
I'm getting.
So
I was up at 2 in the morning to watch.
He was up at 2 in the morning to watch Book of Boba Fett. Okay.
What do you want to talk about? What do you got?
So I want to talk about some stuff that I've been seeing lately in the geek community, of which we are both a part of.
Yes, but I don't pay attention to it that much. So what?
You pay attention enough. We the other day we had a debate, privately between the two of us, about Superman, Son of Kal-El, the most recent issue. Yeah. Well, now bear in mind we both liked the issue. Okay.
I love Superman, Son of Kal-El. I think it is a fantastic run. So I'm gonna go on record saying that.
He's gonna go on record. I'm gonna go on record saying I'm really enjoying Superman, Son of Kal-El. The one thing that we were debating was if we think that they are putting enough behind the part of the storyline about his relationship. Joe seems to think that that they're putting enough in there.
It feels like it's progressing kind of naturally.
And I am on the side of that they could be doing more. So one of the things that I'm worried about as a reader, as somebody that is one of these enlightened individuals that doesn't.
Is somebody enlightened when they call themselves enlightened?
Is somebody enlightened when they call themselves enlightened? Well, would you rather I call myself woke? God, seriously, would you rather I call myself woke? Because we know woke. It sounds like something that you say when you're trying to hold back.
Joey Lawrence?
Well, I wasn't thinking of Joey Lawrence until now, but sure. I was actually thinking of, how...
They can always do more. They can always do more. But I'm just saying that it's not like they're forgetting about it.
Yeah.
Not like they did with Tim Drake.
Oh.
But that's another time for another story. We don't need to go on another tangent.
We don't need to go into a tangent about Tim Drake. Well, the thing is I've ended up in some, discussions online. And I know you've seen them, and I know I've talked to you about them. About how woke... the woke part of comics is destroying comics. That comics need to be more testosterone driven.
Yeah, you know what I like to do about this stuff? I like to pretend those people that talk like that don't even exist. You're the one that gets into these weird things. They don't exist to me because I don't look at them because they're pieces of shit. They're big old pieces of shit, and why would I want to read something that a big old piece of fucking turd just fucking laid out there?
A big old piece of turd. Okay. Alrighty.
Too woke isn't a fucking thing.
too woke is not a thing. Well, one of the things that I was wondering is
Things progress like life. Like bisexuals exist, gay people exist. They need representation in comic books because why wouldn't they? Like comic books are for everybody, right? And people like to say that, but oh, I guess not gay people or like, you know.
well, it's the concept that people like not even just going for the whole gay, bisexual, straight, heterosexual thing. Okay, not even just going for that, but the idea of people getting all up in arms about ideas being displayed in comic books. For example, the whole climate change thing and all that.
Get over it. Comics have always been political.
Comics have always been political. You know what I think is really funny is it's not that they're upset about politics. It's not that they're upset about thoughts being presented as theme in comics. I think what happens is they're upset that they don't like the thought. Because I can guarantee you.
So wait, they're not upset about that, but they don't like the thought. I don't get where you're going with that.
Okay, well let me expound on that. Okay, I guarantee you, some of these fucks probably have read Ayn Rand.
Yeah.
Right.
If they're smart enough.
or something similar to Ayn Rand. If you think for 1 second that Ayn Rand, if any of these people think for 1 second that Ayn Rand did not put her values into what she wrote, they'd be sorely mistaken.
Yeah, they do. They just want to complain about it because it's not their views.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
So there's absolutely, there's one of those things where it's like, one, no, testosterone is not missing from comics.
There's enough testosterone in comics. There's men punching men all over the place in there.
Yeah, there's women punching men.
Yeah, there's lots of punchy. It's very punchy comic books, man.
There's a lot of violence, guys.
Lots. That's mainly what comic books are.
There's a lot of violence here. And let me remind you, one of the most badass characters that kills a lot of people.
Captain Carrot.
Yes, Captain Carrot kills a lot of people. No, but I was going to say, one of the most badass characters in comic books in fantasy today is a woman that kills a shit ton of people all the time. And does it while wearing a chainmail bikini.
Yeah, Red Sonja, man, she's killing fucker, man. She just kill. She kills to kill.
She kills for the fun of it at times, I would think, right? No.
Not really for the fun.
No, she has purpose. She has purpose.
She's not like
she's not a psychopath. Yeah, she's not a psychopath. But let me be real here. One of the most badass characters in comics is Red Sonja, who is definitely a woman, and so would you say that because you've read a lot of Red Sonja, not necessarily recently, but you have read a lot of Red Sonja in the past, would you say that any kind of political value to those books?
I don't know, not really the old stuff. They are what they are, man. They're just sword and sorcery books.
Yeah. Just stories.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I make this recommendation to anyone that might be listening to this that thinks that I am a fucker for disagreeing with them. If you want testosterone and no political viewpoints whatsoever, it's out there for you. You don't have to fucking complain about Superman, son of Kal-El, or Tim Drake. It's available to you. And
or you can just go bite a fucking bullet, man. Stop sucking up the airways for people who want to be good.
Meaning?
You need to just go away. Go to an island far away with your stupid views. And be stupid.
So what do you think about the Justice League dying?
Not gonna die.
They're not going to die.
Not gonna die. It's probably some other universe Justice League.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, we'll see what he does. I'll probably, well, we get the comics, so I'll definitely read it.
I definitely think it's definitely going to be a different Justice League from a different universe. Because there are different universes, Justice Leagues, obviously. And because that issue...
Justice League Incarnate is still there.
And Captain Carrot.
Captain Carrot.
Yes. For real, though. Captain Carrot for the win.
Captain Carrot's my dude.
Well, I think that, especially since Williamson is taking over and writing that, at least that issue of Justice League 75, that it definitely has to deal with his other storylines with Justice League Incarnate.
Yeah, it's gonna have something to do with the multiverse. You know it.
And I want to see more Batwoman who laughs.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. So what are you looking forward to read this week?
This week, I'd have to look through it. The ones are over there.
Yeah, we're actually doing stuff from our living room right now, which is where all of our comics
Definitely
are.
Human Target.
Human Target's like really good.
Human Target has been a blessing, my God. And probably the last Wonder Girl.
That's sad. The last Wonder Girl.
I'm really sad about that, actually.
And Robin. We got Robin.
Yeah, I already read it. It was awesome.
You did already read it. I have not read it yet.
The best book I've read so far this week has been The Peacemaker, Disturbing the Peace, man, by Garth Ennis.
Garth Ennis. Well, it's Garth Ennis. It's going
to be hard to top that one.
Man, but, oh gosh, the way Action Comics has been going lately, that's going to be good.
I love that cover.
Yeah, it's very... I don't know. How do you describe that? How would you describe it?
Old school.
That's exactly what I was going to go for, but I wasn't sure. Oh, of course. I'm really looking forward to Harley Quinn. Because we got to see if Kevin gets out of his mess.
Kevin.
Yeah.
But Peacemaker was freaking excellent. That one was good.
But wouldn't you say that you were saying that it's like nothing like the Peacemaker that we're watching on TV?
I got my butt snagged. But no, it is nothing like Peacemaker on TV at all.
Oh man, you got your butt snagged. Okay, all right. He got caught on the couch. Which I'm loving, by the way.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow.
We should talk about that next week.
Oh my god. But, I mean, it is Wednesday, and it is Book of Boba Fett.
So we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about Boba Fett.
All right. So, okay, well then there we go. That's, if you liked us kind of talking about the Book of Boba Fett, otherwise known today as The Mandalorian Season 2.5, I'm not even hating on that. Like,
yeah, I'm not either, but I am a little like, man, maybe they probably should have thrown Boba Fett into his own show there.
Yeah. Maybe just look. Are they? Yeah.
Can you shut the show?
So yeah. So we're if you enjoyed us talking about the Mandalorian 2.5, otherwise known as Book of Boba Fett, and we kind of talked a little bit about comics as a whole. Yeah. You can tune in next week, and we'll probably talk about the Book of Boba Fett some more, and I guess we'll talk about Peacemaker to this point, the TV show on HBO Max, which is hilarious. And if you ever need a little bit of cheering up, I recommend watching the opening sequence theme
Just watch
video.
the whole show.
Just watch the whole show. If you have time to watch the whole show, watch the whole show. But if you need just a couple minutes of an upturn in your life, I recommend watching that because it works. So anyways, that's about it for this week. This has been the What's Happening Wednesday, officially unofficial geek. My name, eternally, your eternal host is Carrie Quinn, and I have been joined this week by Joe.
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 Goodbye.
And we'll be seeing ya. I'll be seeing ya. Check out later on this week, we've got the Flashback Friday. And after that, the weekly comic roundup, spoiler-tastic weekly comic roundup. We also have collected editions Tuesdays and various hauls here and there, hauls, unboxings. And this has been the What's Up Wednesday. So we'll be seeing ya, and take it easy. Bye.